Good morning, YouTube. Louie here with the best silver gold deals of Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Welcome all new subscribers and viewers. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's get on to the gold price. Gold off $5 to $3,424. And silver continuing its rampage up 12 cents to 39.35, both in a serious bull run. However, a trade deal with Japan that was announced last night is taking a little of the top off gold this morning. But trade deals are bullish for production, and that is continuing the silver bull. In the futures market, 39.78. In the silver spot markets, 39.35. So healthy differential there between futures and spot. And as you go out further on the futures chain, you'll see prices rise. Gold silver ratio falling 0.5% to 86.86. And I don't think we will see these 86 handles for very long, and I mean going lower. Of course, not financial advice, just my opinion. All right, here we go. 10-year yield up a tad to 4.37. We're awaiting Fed decisions here very soon. Copper is also on a rampage, up 1% this morning to 5.85. I don't know where the top in copper is. Let's see. Is this an all-time high? All-time high in copper. All-time is a very long time, and I don't know. I mean, where could copper go? Copper could go to 10 for all I know, but that's not financial advice, but I'm glad to have some of that ETF in my IRA. Platinum pulling back today, just like gold. So platinum trading more like a monetary metal than a commodity this morning, but it is digesting its serious bull run today at 1428 in the futures market. The commodity index I hold, the DBB base metal fund, is up again 19.84, and that is exactly what I was hoping for, and that's going to be everything from steel to aluminum, etc. Okay, in the economic calendar, today is Wednesday. We have existing home sales. I imagine that's not going to be too good. And tomorrow, initial jobless claims. And we'll see if they come in weak. They are projected to come in a little higher than the previous reading. And who knows, some of those layoffs could finally hit the market, putting pressure on Powell to cut rates, which could lower the dollar and, could be another tailwind for metals. However, I continue to think that lower short-term rates and very low short-term rates could spike the 10-year, and we'll just have to see how that plays out. So far, we are in a trading range on the 10-year note. All right, in the pre-markets, we are in the greed category at 73. Dow futures up 240, S&P futures up 22, NASDAQ futures up 18. And apparently the Japan deal has spiked to the Japan stock market, and what looks like will be looser policy going forward, very inflationary. Perhaps people are betting on a crack-up boom in Japan. From my perspective, it would be a good short this morning. Let's see what Bitcoin is telling us about the markets and whether we will rally or not. Interesting, we have a divergence with Bitcoin down 1388 to 118,621. Maybe in sympathy with gold, not sure about that. Or maybe people are getting out of Dodge here. We seem to be toppy in the stock market. All right, before we get on to the best deals, the newbie question of the day, or the newbie thought of the day, is junk silver. Okay, it's a buy. It's under spot. It is what people are loading up on right now if they cannot tolerate these very high spot prices. But would you entertain the thought of buying slicks? A slick is defined as having no visible date or just being worn to the point where it's barely recognizable. Something with a date, however, is considered circulated junk. And there are two different prices for that. So, newbies should be aware when you buy junk, there are two kinds of junk. There is normal junk, circulated junk, where the dates are visible, and I mean actually visible, not begging for a date. And then there's everything else. They trade at different prices, and slicks trade based on weight. And circulated with dates trade on face value. Did you know that? Or maybe that's helpful to you. And for those old timers, do you buy slicks? Well, boy, you'd have to get them pretty cheap, but do you buy slicks? Do you mind if you get some slicks? Maybe you get some valuable numismatics in there, although they wouldn't grade well. Question for the group. Okay, let's get on to the deals. All right, and before we move forward, just to let you know, I'm sponsored by no bullion dealers. Not that they haven't offered. I just want to be independent on this and allow myself the opportunity to shop anywhere on the internet where I have confidence it's a good dealer. And then we'll look at other places too as we try to find the best deals anywhere in the known universe, at least within reason. Okay, a 1/100th gold is over at SD Bullion for 44.36. Let's go on to a 1/10th Gold Eagle. 1/10th Gold Eagle, 384 at Summit Metals. How about a 1/4 ounce Gold Eagle? That is 903 at Safe Haven Metals. Let's move on to a $5 commemorative. This is cheap gold. Okay, but it's U.S. sovereign gold. This is 831. Over at Bullion Exchanges, that is 0.241 ounces of gold. Divide the first number by the second number, and you will get the melt. Let's move on to a 10-gram gold in assay, 1140 at Golden Eagle this morning. If you like metric, a 1-ounce Gold Eagle is 34.54 at Bullion Exchanges. Not much of a premium there. And a 1-ounce Gold Buffalo is cheaper this morning at Bullion Exchanges, 35.10, but hold your horses. We'll try to find a better deal on those. The big proof gold set 1.85 is now 6,467. Still a smoking deal for 1.85 ounces of proof U.S. sovereign gold in OGP, and that's just a great deal. They can't sell them because people don't have $6,467. And if you buy that from the U.S. Mint, you will be roughly $1,500 more than what you can buy them in the aftermarket. There's a lesson for you there about collecting gold. Yeah, collecting gold is for rich people. Okay, let's see. How about an AU gold maple? Pretty cheap at $34.36. They call that spot at Bullion Exchanges. That is not spot. Spot is Kitco, not manufactured, dealer-oriented higher futures prices. All right, and Walmart has some good deals as well. You want to check them out. Use your PayPal credit card. Links on my website for that. And you'll get a deal probably below spot on a maple. Let's check out the gold Krugerrand, because that is often a very, very cheap 1-ounce piece of gold. And $34.63 at Safe Haven Metals. Moving forward to Bullion Exchanges has a new tab called Gold Below Spot. Thank you guys in the chat room for pointing that out. And there it is. There's the two things you can get. You can get a generic bar, probably beat up out of assay, $34.35. Although the Gold Eagle, BU Gold Eagle, is just a couple of pennies more. And you can get this abrasion maple that I already showed you for $34.35. Always get the sovereign over the bar, in my opinion. The bars are heavily counterfeited, although I would trust Bullion Exchanges to send you a good one. It's just when you go to sell it, somebody's going to want to test it. Okay, we'll skip the platinum and palladium, and too bad I've been skipping it, because hopefully if you were focused on it, you're very happy with your investment in gold and palladium. We're having a once-in-a-decade rally in many of these metals, and platinum, palladium have not been left out of that. A silver eagle can be had for about $3 over spot at 42.48 at Monument Metals. Any quantity pricing. Culls are about $1 less. My green light is on. When we get into the 40s, I'll think about changing that back. And I think we will get into the 40s here. I think we could be pushing 41 here pretty soon in silver, and all-time highs in gold. In terms of the articles of the day, let's see. This is the only one I added here. Gold in your 401k. And the Genius bill allows, I think this was all in one bill, but correct me if I'm wrong, Trump allows 401ks to access private equity. He's pumping that bubble. I'm surprised he's not redder with all the pumping he's doing lately for the stock market. But he wants cryptos in your 401k, easily accessible to you. He also wants gold in your 401k. He also wants private placement, the worst possible place to have your money. And a lot of the public pension funds have a lot of money in private placement. It doesn't trade freely, and they have lost a fortune compared to general stock market returns. Pump, pump, pump. That's what's going on there. And no, I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Trump hater. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. I voted for him once, but after he proved to not be a sound money president, when he took the top off of the debt ceiling, I decided never to vote for him again. He is not sound money. He is pump money. And you may or may not like a lot of the things he's doing, but that doesn't make me a liberal. That just makes me a thinker. Okay, and by putting gold in the 401k, he's going to have a fight on that side. I've interacted with financial fiduciaries over pension funds for years and years and years, and there's one thing they hate to the core, and that is gold. They will probably never recommend it unless that is shifting. But I remember having conversations with very, very well-known fiduciaries in that market before the bond market crashed, saying to them, gold is the new 10-year bond. It's the only thing that can counterbalance risk in your portfolio. And they blew me off over and over and over again. And they will continue to do so. So it's going to be a hard fight to get financial fiduciaries to put gold, which probably does not compensate them the way other investments do, into a 401k. This is why I recommend you get yourself into a self-directed IRA where you can buy anything. And in your IRA, you will not have the adverse tax consequences that you have by trading in your taxable brokerage account. Metals carry big tax consequences if you're investing in SLV or GLD, etc. So you want that in a self-directed IRA. If you're older like me, get your money out of your company's pension plan and into your self-directed IRA, where you can put together a proper portfolio that is carefully hedged with precious metals. And I would not do a precious metals IRA. Are you kidding me? Why would you do that? You guarantee taxability when you do that, when you withdraw the money. And some of us would like to have more. It's not that GLD and SLV won't be taxed at ordinary rates when you take them out of your IRA. It's when you have metals in your possession, you are free to do properly report that to the government if there's not a 1099 issued. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay, let me keep going. All right, let's do a maple, and they're all going to be in the same price in the 41s over at bullion exchanges. I'll just skip the rest. And Libertad's getting expensive. We got the gold Superman coming up. I think I'll buy one. Over at Costco, I keep missing the Silver Eagles. They must be dropping out in a heartbeat, and I don't even know what they're selling for. But people are buying the Pamp Bar at 42 an ounce out the door. You might be more like, in the 40s. So you'll be about $1 over spot if you pick up that beautiful 10-ounce Pamp Bar. You can get a 1-ounce bar for $34.49, or you can get a Buffalo for $35.29. And a 50-gram bar for $55.99. Don't buy that, guys. Your LCS doesn't want that stuff. It's too big. You'll take a haircut when you go to sell it, maybe. All right, the Buffalo is worth considering. It'd be very, very cheap after a 2% Executive Club rebate membership and a 2% rebate credit card. If you don't have those things, I suggest you get them right away. If you don't have any gold, I think gold's going to 4,000 here. And could it take 6 to 12 months? Yeah, certainly it could. All right, let's keep going here, and let's do junk in the trunk. Junk here, a little over spot at Monument Metals for a $10 face roll with dates, 28.6 times face. That's on the cheat sheet. That is going to be about 40.25 or so. But, where'd I go? But we've got a large lot of junk over at Bullion Exchanges. This is their underspot deal for 28. No, this is their at spot deal. No, let me see here. 28.17. Let's see if that is under spot on my cheat sheet. 28.17 is going to be about 39.40. Oh, that might be just a hair under the fake bullion exchanges spot price. So let's call that large deal at spot. Mercs over at Monument Metals can be had for 28.4 times face, and I kind of like that, but I think we'll get a better deal on eBay later. Okay, let's keep going here, and this is their silver below spot page over at Bullion Exchanges. It is all junk. and it's probably right around at spot when you consider their fake spot price. I still like the 10-ounce cast secondary bars over at Pinehurst, 410, and maybe you'll get something cool. Okay, but you got to pay with cash there, because credit cards, they will charge you more. We'll skip the Scottsdale this morning, go right to a kilo, and that, oh my God, look at that price. Look at that price. Kilos at spot is what they say, and that is 13.02. SD Bullion says spot is 39.63 this morning. We are rolling. We are just rolling here. So there you go. If you're looking for silver at spot, do that. Maybe we'll find something better and cheaper on eBay. They still got the kilo Perth Mint coin. Yeah, 13.38 for that this morning. Not that much more for a kilo sovereign Australian Perth Mint silver coin, some collectability to that, and it will likely come in a scratched capsule. Complain if that happens to you. Now we're on eBay. We're going to try to get a better deal. You new guys should understand. We shop here because we utilize a 3% rebate credit card. Forget the air miles and the other, vacation miles and whatnot. Get yourself a 3% cashback credit card. If you don't know what those are, their links are on my website. And every time you buy precious metals on eBay, when you check out through PayPal, you can get 3% back. That's how we get better deals when you check out through PayPal. Okay, let's start here with the Silver Eagles. And I don't know, can we get anything under 42 for God's sakes? Let's see. The culls will come up first. And Silver Eagle's been kind of slim pickings lately. Here we do 42.40, about 41.20 out the door for culls. Here is a 20-ounce tube of BUs. What is that, a small seller? That is a small seller. You'll have to decide if you want to take a chance on him. That'll be cheaper than the dealer if you want to take a chance on him. $8.39 plus $12 shipping. Call that $8.50. There's a big seller, good feedback. That is $42.50, about $41.30 out the door. That deal will beat the dealers as well after a 3% rebate. We'll just start with the maples here, and we can get 25 for $10.63. We can get 25 Britannias for $10.49. We can get 25 Kangaroos for $10.59. We can get 25 Krugerrands for $10.73. $10.49 is going to be our best price for a tube of 25, and that is off the charts. Let's call that $10.50. That would be about $40.75 or so out the door. That'd be a solid $1.25 or so over spot. Check the sellers well when you purchase here. Make sure what I highlighted there is a large seller, or at least a mid-sized seller with pretty close to 100% feedback. I also appreciate if you click the links on my website when you do this. It'll take you right into my sword, and then that helps my channel, keeps the website running, the chat room running, etc. I appreciate it when you do that. Let's look at junk. Small junk has been the best deals lately because people are just cashing in. I recommend you don't cash in here. I think you'll be able to cash in the 40s if you're going to look to do that. $2.75. Now let's see if they're slick or not. Nope, they're not slick. They got dates. They look to be out of Grandpa's stack here, and you can get those for 27.6. We'll do the math here rather than go to the cheat sheet, but 27.6 divided by 0.715. That's the only fraction you really need to remember. And you'll be out the door at 38.60. You'll be well under melt on these Washington quarters. You may even get some nice ones. I don't see them as damaged or worn. I think he's over cautioning here. They do not look exceedingly worn. They do not look. There's one there in the middle that probably was in the sand or something. They're not perfect, but I don't see anything wrong with those if you want some cheap junk. If you're not buying junk, at least $1 under spot. Some of you are getting it for $2 under spot. You may be paying too much, but $1 under spot, I think that's okay if you can do it with the click of a mouse. Your LCS may be cheaper, may be higher, I don't know. All right, and there are coin shops on YouTube, Vermilion, Minot, and Coin Huskers that are consistently having junk sales. Here's a big bag of nice shiny 1964 quarters. Well, no, they're not 1964. He's got a picture of 64s here, and he says they're 1932 to 1964. Either they're right out of a roll, or he's tumbled them. Some people tumble their junk. to A, make them shiny and pretty, and B, remove the disease. Junk silver can be very diseased, and you can make yourself very sick. If you're touching a lot of very old junk from unknown sources, and then you touch your eyes, you can get very, very sick. There's another newbie tip for you. You don't believe me? Well, I can tell you people that have experienced it. Okay, 28.15 on this one. We'll get about 80 cents off. We'll be at about 27.25. 2730 times face. 2730 I think is more than the previous small deal, but some of you need to spend a lot of money to get over your sales tax limits. We'll skip the Carson Cities and the Morgans, but if you're buying numismatics because you can't stomach $40 silver, they're still about the same price as they've been for a while. They have not popped recently. Okay, matter of fact, sometimes collector coins move in the opposite direction of spot price. Sometimes premiums evaporate on fancy coins when spot starts moving up to $50. You go into your LCS and you show them a proof silver eagle or something, and they're like, I'll give you spot, or I'll give you $2 back a spot, or I'll give you $5 back a spot. So just recognize they move. These are different markets, and if you can't buy, if you don't want to buy bullion right now, you could definitely pick up collector coins. And I don't know what happens when we get to 45. It seems to me the real fireworks will be over 45. That's why I'd recommend selling a little bit at 45. Okay, the cheapest kilo this morning, but don't go by me. That's just what I do because I've been stacking for years. And when I sell a little bit, I still got a lot. All right, a kilo is $13.17 this morning. That would be about $12.70. That'd be well under the dealer price, and that'll be under spot, I believe. So they're moving these out, some ugly kilos. If you get the Pamp bar, now they're both 3.9s, they're not 4.9s. If you get the 4.9s, you can melt that and make shot out of it. Kilo is a good deal this morning. Again, if you're buying, here's a vintage bar of the day. It's Jackson Precious Metals. They're giving it away for $415 plus $11 shipping. Big seller, good feedback. And I definitely have one of those. They're pretty common, but that's a 1980s bar most likely. Looks like somebody has maybe polished it, or it's a matte finish. I don't know. I'd probably polish that baby up, or eat some Kentucky Fried Chicken, handle it, and then throw it in the rafters for 5 years. Here's a big boy listing for a 50-ounce silver bar, Engelhard, Canada. God, this is absolutely gorgeous, and you new guys won't want to buy this, but you people with a big old stack that like vintage silver. Sometimes the 50-ounce Engelhards go for more per ounce than the 100-ounce. You can pick this up at about 42 an ounce, under 42 after rebates. It's going to come from Canada, and I don't know, there might be a tariff, so don't buy it. But I just thought that was pretty if you like big 50-ounce bars. The cheapest kilo kook this morning is $13.39 or best offer. Looks like it's all beat up. Don't buy collector coins with scratches. You'll never get your money back. Okay, a tube of kooks this morning is $8.70, $43.50, $42.50, maybe $42.30 out the door. $3 over spot for kooks. They come very nicely encapsulated. You don't have to shrink wrap them. A 1 ounce silver coin is silver round. 40.52, about 39.40 out the door. Pretty close to melt on 1 ounce rounds. Nothing wrong with those. If you like a big lot, if you want a small lot, you can get that for, skip this first one here, $8.10 or best offer. Who are you? You are a small seller. So if you want to play with a small seller, feel free. You might steal his silver, but you probably want to go with a bigger seller. And a bigger seller, it's a mid-sized seller with reasonable feedback. And these are SD bullion rounds, I believe. Looks like somebody handled these. Anyway, nothing special here, but you get these at $40 an ounce. And then you'll be 39, under 39 out the door. No, maybe 39.30. I don't know. You'll be at or below spot on 1 ounce rounds. Nothing wrong with those. They're shiny proof-like rounds that have been handled. So consider those circulated silver rounds. Maybe your LCS will care. Maybe he won't. Good deals in the 20 coin lot there. All right, let's keep moving here for a big old 100-ounce bar. How cheap can we get these? We can get these as cheap as... Look at these prices. In my wildest dreams, I could not imagine $40 silver. Because remember, I started stacking after the crash the last time it went to 50. I started buying at 20. Fortunately, I didn't start buying before that, and so I've never seen $50 silver in my stacking career. And here we got a generic RMC bar for 40 bucks an ounce. Yeah, you'll be in the 38s after rebates with a good 3% rebate credit card, but look at these prices. And do you think we're going back to 20? I don't know. It'd take a depression to make that happen, I think. Oh, holy mackerel. Yeah, you got to decide if you're buying or you're not buying. And then, just if you can buy something, maybe you buy numismatics, maybe you buy vintage bars, maybe you buy fancy poured silver, or maybe you just don't buy it all, or maybe you buy gold because the downside on gold is far more limited than the downside on silver. Silver is way more volatile, and I mean, you can go down $5 in a day, and then again, it can go up $5 in a day. I buy gold. I buy silver as a mechanism to obtain more gold down the road. That's what I want in my long-term retirement account. There is some gold that somebody scratched up for 120 bucks. That's 1 gram of gold. And if you want to get a righteous one, it's 123 minus 3% for a gram of gold. Let's go up to a random 1/10 gold. Random 1/10 gold as cheap. I got to see something I recognize. Here's a bar from a good seller, 371. You'd be about 360 out the door. 3,600 melt on 1/10 gold. 1/10 gold eagle, as cheap as. Let's find somebody giving it away, huh? This is a mid-size seller, 100% feedback, and you saw this before, 383. That's probably about 370 out the door for a 1/10 gold eagle. Let's keep moving here to bigger gold. Let's go to a 1/4 ounce gold eagle, as cheap as 909 minus 3% if you like that. We'll move on to 1/2 ounce random gold, and I don't wish the ugly head coins on you, so I'm going to skip those. And we'll go to, a random 1/2 ounce gold round. Ooh, what is this? That's a $1/2 Mexican gold Viente, 20 peso. Oh, that's a beautiful coin. What's the content on that? Zero feedback seller, don't buy that, but what is the metal content on a 1959 $1/2 20 peso gold Viente? Isn't that beautiful? Don't buy it here, don't buy it from this guy, but let me know what the metal content is on that. Very interesting. But we came here for the 1/2 ounce random gold. That is 1778, and you get about 60 bucks off on that. No, 50 bucks off on that. You'd be about 1728, and that'd be about 3460 out the door melt. Which would be not much over spot. Maybe you get something cool. Gold is gold. But there's cheaper gold. I'd probably get the gold at spot deals before I'd pick up a random round. And that is random 1/2 ounce. Let's go on to random 1 ounce. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. It ain't going to be 2,400. I got to put a price floor on this. It ain't going to be 31.98. Those are scams. Got to get up into the 3,400s for a real deal. See, like this one will be a scam at 33.50. 34.79 is the first righteous one. That's also a 1 feedback seller. Here's 3,500. That is a small seller. Yeah, I wouldn't buy from a small seller, but that'd be under 34 out the door for a gold eagle. Here's a gold bar for 35. That'd be under 34 out the door, under melt. Maybe you can pick this one up. No, all these scammers are coming out. Here's a Perth Mint bar, scammer. Perth Mint bars are heavily counterfeited. Look at this guy. He's just gunked up the place with fake listings. Let's go to something real. Let's go to a bigger seller. 100% positive feedback, mid-size seller. There is a Pamp bar. And that'd be under 3,400 out the door, smaller seller. Let's keep going here to a Gold Buffalo. Gold Buffalo as cheap as, ooh, look at that. Big seller, good feedback, free shipping. And this is in some kind of slab. Looks like that's an aftermarket slab. I don't know, but that would be under 3,500. I don't know if you like that or not. A bigger seller is only $17 more for those gold buffaloes. The 1.85 proof gold set is now up to 6,500, and even if you got that for 6,300 out the door, well, that would beat the dealer price. The next highest one is 6,700, so this will probably cap out around 6,600. Maybe it'd be 64 out the door, which would be a little cheaper than the dealer 1.85 proof gold American Eagle set. Let's go to a $5 commemorative. This is good gold to stack, and I believe you're going to get that at 850 minus 3%, 0.241 ounce of gold. A 20 franc this morning can be had for 658. Yeah, okay. That is big seller, good feedback, free shipping, Helvetia, and looks decent. Edge lettering on that bad boy. 658, and then that would be about 638 out the door. I don't recall the price at the dealer. Check the dealer price before you buy that. The Big Daddy Gold Peso is 42.69 this morning. On that one, you would take nearly 200 bucks off. That'll be under spot on that 50 peso. Check my math on that. And if you're collecting copper, I suggest you go get nickels from the bank. Get a $100 box of nickels if your bank will give you those. And you're going to get 75% copper for face value with those nickels. But if you collect copper pennies, you're making money on those. And I haven't updated that listing. I don't know if you're buying those on eBay or not. Shipping is kind of pricey on that. Here's stuff in my eBay store. Ask me for a friend discount if you see anything you like, and if I can do it, I absolutely will. And there's the bars I pour. New bar coming up in August. Can't believe this year is going so fast. Star Privy Eagle, I would not buy those. And there's a precious metal verifier. This is like a type 1. It's not as fancy as the new ones, but it's like, 30% cheaper, so consider that. And when you do this, use your Capital One Quicksilver card to get an extra 4% off. Vacuum sealer is very, very cheap. Everybody should have one. It's very helpful to divide your stack into 200-ounce lots, vacuum seal it, and then that's very manageable that way. Don't buy monster boxes. They're too heavy. Okay, unless you want the strap monster box for collector value. All right, you can refine your bars, and the Devil Forge is like $100. Buy those 4.9s bars, make shot, and then shot is worth more than spot, that's for sure. Here's the Amex card, highly recommended. The PayPal card, highly recommended. Quicksilver card, highly recommended. The Saver from Capital One, I used mine for the first time yesterday. Ka-ching, 3% back at the grocery store. Gotta love that. And there's a bonus when you spend a couple of bucks with them. Previous picks of the day, I gotta skip. U.S. Mint, we got the gold Superman coming up, and not that many sales on eBay, but the graded versions are making $1,000, which means the 69s will probably come out $300-400 over the issue price. There's only one to a customer, to a household. Might take a few days to sell out, so jury is out on the gold Superman. But I don't know, don't miss it if you want to pick that up. I don't think there's any downside if you can resell that in the aftermarket. I don't think it'll drop below issue price. There's a new Una bar I showed you yesterday. Check yesterday's video for that. I think it's exceedingly ugly, and I'm ashamed of the Royal Mint for how ugly the second bar in the Una series is. The Royal Mint Una series, I know there are also Rands that have some as well. I don't know what's up with that bar, but it's selling out. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thank you very much if you do that. And you can give me a super thanks. I do appreciate that as well. You can subscribe to my membership channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. And if you can't afford it, I understand that as well. You're still welcome to watch these videos every single day, totally for free. Everything on the website is free, so I do provide that to anybody that needs it, and I just don't want you guys to pay too much for silver and gold. And I think you ought to get out of the fiat dollar and into something tangible, and the sooner you do that, the better off you'll be 10 years from now. Will you be better off 10 minutes from now? I don't know, but I started 10 years ago, and I'm pretty happy with Jesus, I'll be paying off my house pretty soon when I start selling. So how about you? All right, guys, check out the chat room. That's where a lot of smart people go to share their best ideas, and you'll enjoy that. Okay, have a great day today. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Share this on social media or to your friends if you think they're paying too much. And let's stay loose out there, okay? See you guys.